This is Alumni Spotlight, our series where we reconnect with former standout student athletes. Mike Foyles with Kyle House, 2013 graduate of Queen's University of Charlotte. Thank you so much for making the time to meet with me today.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks so much for having me. You know, I try to get back to campus at least once a year to reconnect with alums. Obviously, it's difficult in our current times with the pandemic, so appreciate this initiative. I think it's an awesome idea.
Absolutely. A 2013 graduate from the Queen's men's swimming program. He was a team captain for a Queen's swimming program that started with just 6 players. And by the time he left, they were top 10 in the country. So we did a story on you not too long ago. You're a manager at a world-leading healthcare organization, Johnson & Johnson, and you have an active role in facilitating the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine. So how did your role sort of shift when the pandemic took full effect? And then how has it shifted again now that the vaccine is making its way across the country?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. You know, I think kind of when the pandemic became a reality and everybody got sent to work from home instead of coming to the office, there was a sort of a 1 or 2 day period where everybody was kind of in shock and almost things paused. And then we realized, hey, you know, we got to adapt and overcome. And that's just what we did. It's been a real lesson in teamwork, I think. You know, my team, we do have a group that's very directly responsible for some of the contracts relating to the manufacturing of the vaccine and some of the research that's going on. So really what it was just a shift in a lot of the workload. You know, I tried to help out some of those vaccine team members so they could free up and really do some of the critical work necessary to get our country, you know, moving again. So it's been just sort of a shift of prioritization. At the same time, you know, you gotta keep everything rolling on the other fronts too. So definitely been an effort and teamwork for us.
Yeah, no, and that leads me exactly to my next question, because I know it has to be a balancing act. I know it's like a war on multiple fronts. You know, can you talk a little bit more about that, about maintaining efforts toward other fronts that are medical issues that are very important and they're not going away, but you also have this big one that's sitting and affecting all of us. I mean, as somebody kind of in a leadership position at such a world-leading healthcare organization, what's kind of been your team's approach to addressing this in so many different fronts, and then one huge pandemic?
Yeah, so my primary responsibility is actually in the neuroscience area. So, you know, trying to come up with new novel drugs that help treat things like major depression and Alzheimer's and schizophrenia. In addition to that, I do some sustainability work. You know, obviously that stuff doesn't become less important because of what's going on around us, but certainly it does shift a bit in priority. So really, we've had our team members kind of work in overdrive, right? It's sort of been, do I need to work an extra hour or 2 each day? Yeah, I think so, but I think that's a sacrifice we're all willing to make right now as we try to make sure that we're putting all the efforts and resources into, you know, getting the vaccine for this global pandemic and moving forward. At the same time, keeping our mission statement in mind that we want to help, you know, everybody that's suffering from these other ailments that, again, they aren't going away, they're still affecting lives. So it's been a balancing act for sure, but again, you know, they say teamwork makes the dream work, and it's truly been the case here, J&J.
You mentioned in the story we wrote about you in September, with you, you kind of made some parallels between your time at Queen's as a student athlete and now your time professionally. And I think you referenced, maybe not an exact quote from your former Queen's swim coach, Jeff Dugdale, who's still here doing an amazing job of talking about controlling the controllables so that you can embrace the chaos. A quote that I personally thought was just amazing, because I think that you can use that in everyday life. So in a time of maximum chaos, you know, does that idea sort of ring true in your professional efforts?
Yeah, it's almost strange to hear you say former coach Jeff Dugdale, because to me, he's still a coach in my life.
No, yeah,
even though he's not.
No,
exactly.
Coach,
even though he's not coaching swimming, he still serves as a coach for me personally, you know, in other areas. He has a lot of experience in the corporate world. So, you know, in addition to all the national titles that he's winning now at Queen's, he's really still coaching some of his former athletes in life. So it's been a real blessing for me. But, you know, I would say that those first couple years at Queen's, as you mentioned, I was there at the start in 2010. We had 6 guys. funny story, speaking of chaos, I actually didn't get to swim my first year. I dislocated my kneecap dancing at a wedding reception, so I had to redshirt. So you want to
You're
talk
going
about
hard.
chaos. That was maximum chaos. But, you know, we didn't have a pool on campus, so every day was an adventure. And it kind of became our team like theme was just, hey, let's embrace the chaos, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And Jeff led that charge every day. So, you know, I learned so much about just not worrying about things that are out of my control. Exactly. Control the controllables is what he always preached. And I think, you know, that's a message that has persisted through the years at Queens, but it's kind of come more to the forefront this year with the current athletes. And we had a really cool event where we connected some of our alumni from those first few years to talk to the current team members about that exact principle, controlling what you can control. You know, that's been just invaluable in my current role at J&J. That this is obviously unexpected for everybody, but you just have to adapt to the new work conditions. You know, you have to become familiar with Zoom and Microsoft Teams and these virtual work environments and find ways to connect with people like we're doing right now with this Alumni Spotlight virtual initiative. You just have to adapt and overcome it and really focus on what is in your realm of control. And I definitely have Jeff to thank for that lesson.
Yeah, one of the things I love about this video series is that I get personally to get to talk to alumni who have had outstanding college careers as both a student and an athlete, but then now they have, you know, X amount of professional years outside of college, and to see their growth and how they apply everything that they used in school to be successful, they used it professionally and we talk to them now, and so many of them, just like yourself, are successful professionally and in their personal life. Do you find that, you know, your work ethic and the leadership that you had as a student athlete and a team captain has played an active role in the success you've had professionally?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, Queens was a life-changing experience for me, and that's certainly why I'm still so connected. I have so much love and passion for the school and the program that I was a part of. You know, not only people like Jeff that touched my life in the athletics realm, but there were some professors, you know, Dr. Stephen Cox, who I believe is still involved, Catherine Easton, Chuck Bamford, who I know Joe Scuba mentioned. These are all professors at Queens that took time to really meet with me individually and help me chart a path for myself. I knew I wanted to go to grad school. So they sat down with me and they said, hey, Kyle, here's what you need to do to get there. And they helped me to chart that course. So, you know, I think for me, not only was the Queens experience in the athletic realm so helpful, but also having that individual attention and helping me get to where I wanted to be in life was hugely important. You know, in addition to that, I can't say enough about some of the teammates that I had while I was at Queens. In that first year, there were only 5 or 6 guys, but we bonded so tightly, right? They're all like brothers to me. And as we grew as a team, I think that family grew. And now it's to the point where we've had you know, almost a decade of program experience, and we're just adding more and more members to the family each year. So, you know, I think the experience opened so many doors for me. I know that the kids on the team right now are having the same experience when you can walk out of there saying, hey, I have a national championship ring after my time at Queens, or I built this. You know, it's just such a unique thing to speak to in a job interview or put on a resume that really makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd.
No, absolutely. That's very well said. Thank you so much for making some time to meet with me today. This has been Kyle House, 2013 graduate of Queens University of Charlotte. He's got an important position at Johnson & Johnson in our efforts as a country to vaccinate America and the world. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I know the Queens community and the swim community is happy to hear from you.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Everybody be safe and Royals pride.